Hey guys, it's Rian with Momma on Mission, and today I'm going to share with you what we read in our homeschool and what I read personally for October 2020. If this is your first time here, welcome and thank you for stopping by. I am Rian, a Christ-following wife and a book-loving homeschool mom to 3 boys. So subscribe and hit that notification bell and you'll be notified every time we upload anything homeschool, book, or biblical womanhood related. So I'll start off with our read alouds for this past month. For Sunlight, we read Mr. Popper's Penguins. This is a reread for us. And I give this a 3 stars. It is just not one of my favorite books. I read it when I was a kid also, and it just, I don't know. I can't think of anything specific I don't like about it. It just never really enthralled me. My boys gave it 5 stars though, so I guess we'll give it a 4 star as an average. It's by Richard and Florence Atwater. And I don't know, I guess it's a cute little story. I just don't find much in it, but and then we are nearly done with Beverly Cleary's Henry Huggins, and these are such cute stories about Henry and Ribsy and all of the adventures they have. My boys are loving this. I'm loving it. And then we are also wrapping up The Long Winter by Laura Ingalls Wilder. I believe last time I spoke about books, we had started this, but we lost the, we didn't lose it, but we had it on Hoopla, which is a digital service if you don't have that, through our library, and we were listening to the audio and it expired before we got to finish it, so we've been kind of reading through this, but it's taking us longer and whatever. We'll recheck it back out on Hoopla, I'm sure, and finish it up quickly. And then we're soon to start this week Owls in the Family. This is our next Sunlight read. By Farley Mowat. So I will be sharing what I thought of this next month and what my kiddos thought of that. And that is all for our read alouds. We were supposed to read the second in the Wingfeather saga. As I mentioned months ago, we were partway through reading that or listening to that on Hoopla, and it disappeared. Like, it didn't return, it just is no longer available. My library doesn't know what happened, so I don't know. So I finally got it in from another library because our library didn't have it, and we're in the middle of all these books and I just don't have time to read it. So I think what I'm going to do is just end up buying the set because we love Wingfeather, and it's worth owning, I think. So I'm going to look for it used first, but we will get back on that soon. So for my 4th grader, I am not going to have these in order because he is just one of those kids that he'll just sit down and read a book and be done with it before I even know that he picked it up. But then sometimes he'll read a book and be on it for months, and I don't know. So I don't know what order he read these in, but I'll just share with you everything that I know he read. So he started off this past month by reading the 5th book in the Wingfeather saga, not Wingfeather, Wings of Fire saga, and he loved that. He gave it a 5 star. He read that one really, really quickly. He loves this series. I can't tell you much about it other than it has to do with dragons, and I was really surprised that he liked it as much as he does. And then for Sunlight, he read Henry and Ribsy, and so of course this is part of the Henry Huggins series, so we're reading it in read alouds, and another one of them he's reading independently. And he gave this, let's see, 4 stars. Then he also read the Bailey School Kids, is that what those are called? Anyway, the Phantoms Don't Drive Sports Cars. We already took that back to the library, but I encourage him to check this out just because I used to read those when I was younger, and I was like, oh, he might like them, and he only gave it a 3. He said it was okay, but it was just far too easy for him, which is understandable because looking back, I think I read those in like 2nd or 3rd grade. And that is by Debbie Dady and Marcia Thornton Jones. And so, like I said, I may have, that just was probably too easy for him. But then he read Geronimo Stilton's Amazing Voyage. My boys both really enjoy Geronimo Stilton. This is one of the Kingdom of Fantasy ones of theirs. Then he read Hank the Cow Dog. Again, one of those that a lot of people read when they were younger, and I never did. This is by John Erickson, and it is the Ranch Life one. So this is Ranch Wildlife. He gave this one 4 stars. He didn't really like Hank that much, I don't feel like, until we read an audiobook. And then I think that kind of helped him, or listened to an audiobook, I think that kind of helped him understand the humor a little bit better. And so this time when he picked up Hank, he like blazed through it. Whereas used to, like, it was almost like he didn't really want to read them. So that was interesting to me. Then he read The Chocolate Touch by Patrick Skeen Catling. And he gave this 5 stars. He really enjoyed this. He said it was pretty funny. And then this was one of those like quick, a lot of these like smaller chapter books he just picks up randomly, and most of them I get for his little brother, but he just picks them up randomly and just like reads them in one setting. So, and this would be one of those. This is Flight of the Quetzalcoatlus? Coatlus? I don't know. You dinosaur people. It's that one. This is by Rex Stone. He really liked this series when he was younger, and this one, I don't know if it's new or we've just never seen it, but he had never read it, and so when he saw it sitting in his brother's stack, he nabbed it and read it real quick in one sitting. And then for Sunlight, he's currently reading Encyclopedia Brown, Boy Detective by Donald J. Sobel. He's liking this so far. And Dinosaur Cove, he gave a 3 stars because he said it was far too easy. And I'm like, that's why I got it for your brother, but you know. And then currently he is reading the 6th Wings of Fire book. This is Moon Rising by Tui T. Sutherland, and he's blazing through it, so I'm assuming he likes it too. So for my 2nd grader, I've shared with you all that he is getting more confident, but he is still just really into those, he just really likes picture books still, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So I do encourage him to try out some chapter books, but I mean, if he's reading at this point. So he is working on this book called Dragon Sitter by Josh Lacey. It's kind of written in like a lot of it is like emails back and forth between, I think, an uncle or something. An uncle and his nephew. I don't know, but he says it's funny. He just reads it in little tiny spurts at a time, which is fine. But he did finish A Cheese Colored Camper by Geronimo Stilton, and he gave this 5 stars. He said it was really funny, which I think is why he reads Geronimo Stilton, is because he likes humor. He's my little giggle box. He's always laughing about something, even when he shouldn't be. And then for Sunlight, he read Surprises, poems selected by Lee Bennett Hopkins, illustrated by Megan Lloyd. So this is just a collection of poetry, like pretty easy to read poetry. But he gave it 5 stars. He really enjoyed it. He also really likes, as well as humor, he likes rhyming. He likes like the sound of things. And so I think poetry is kind of right up his alley. And then he has started to read for Sunlight Pompeii Buried Alive by Edith Kuhnhart. And that's what I love about Sunlight, is that even in their independent readers, it's not just novels. It's not just picture books. It is, you know, he started off this year in the Bible, a children's Bible, and then he moved to poetry, and now he's reading nonfiction, and then later he'll pick up a fiction book, I think later this week actually, because this is not very long. But I love how they just mix it up and expose them to all sorts of different types of reading. And then I told him he could go ahead and share a couple of the picture books that he enjoyed this month. So he really enjoyed Hurry Up, a book about slowing down, written by Kate Dopyrick. I don't know. And this book was like kind of convicting to me, because I say hurry up a lot. And it's not that we don't slow down and smell the roses. That's kind of like what this book is about, is how we hurry everywhere. But we need to like take the time to connect with nature and to just enjoy each other. And we do have time for that. But I feel like I'm one of those people that when it's time to work, I'm like, let's go, get it done, let's go, and then we can play. And so I do use that term hurry up a lot, and I'm trying to work on that. And then he liked this story. Of course, it's a funny one, but It's Not My Fault by Jory John. And this one, it's one of those, it's funny, but it also has kind of a moral to it. So this kid kind of blames everyone else for all of his troubles, or blames other things, I should say, not necessarily people. You know, why is there mud everywhere? Oh, it's my shoe's fault, you know. And then eventually his things that he's blaming get fed up with getting blamed, and they kind of retaliate and in his dream speak to him or whatever, and then he kind of changes his ways, kind of. Anyway, but there's a moral to it, and it's funny, so he liked it. Okay, and then for what I read this month, oh wait, one more book. Both of my boys wanted to share this for the picture book of the month, and I think it's a cute book. If you are a mom of boys or girls who really like football, this is Good Night Football by Michael Dahl, and we are huge football fans here. And so this book is just a cute little rhyming book by Sports Illustrated. You know, it's not a super thrilling story, but it has a cute rhyming pattern, nice pictures, and it's about football. So we enjoyed it. So now back to what I read. This month was mostly nonfiction. So I was reading Mom Enough and Grouchy to Great last month, and there was a mix-up, and those accidentally got taken back to the library when they weren't supposed to yet. But that's okay. The only thing that stinks is that our library is quarantining materials as they come in because of COVID, and so they have to sit in quarantine for a while before they can be rechecked out, and so I have to wait to go check those back out, which kind of stinks, but I'll get back around to them. I am almost done with Missing or Murdered in Missouri, Unsolved and Solved Cases by Barbara Kim Heighton. It is very enjoyable in the fact that, you know, that's my home state, and so just hearing about true crime in my area, general area, is pretty cool. However, I've seen like some typos and some like grammatical errors, which I'm a weirdo that just kind of looks at those things, but so that part's kind of been annoying, but overall it's been interesting. Our library has an entire section of stuff that's all like local history or local authors and stuff, and so that's kind of neat to go through there every once in a while. And then I actually listened to on audiobook Into the Wild by John Krakauer, and this was on my Scholé Sisters reading challenge list, and it is about a young man who sets out to basically rough it in Alaska, and the why behind it, and what probably happened to him while he was there, and just speaking with his family and to other people who have done a similar thing, and it was just very, very interesting. And then I have a copy somewhere. I've been switching back and forth between listening to this and reading it, but I can't find it right now. But I'm listening/reading Chosen by God by R.C. Sproul. So this is, I've heard, kind of a very good introduction to Calvinism, which I just love theology. So so far so good on that. I'm really, really enjoying it. It helps take kind of big ideas and break them down into like why that works, if that makes sense. It's not just like big word, big word, big word, and then you have to kind of like sit there and like sift through it all. It really like breaks it down step by step, and I like that. And then I just started A Typical Woman by Abigail Dodds. This was recommended by the girls over at the Sheologians podcast. So far, I'm really enjoying that. I'll catch you up on that next month. And then with my church, I am reading the book book Conscience by Andrew David Naselli and J.D. Crowley, and it's all about things that are a matter of conscience and how to deal with those when we differ from other believers, how to calibrate your conscience. You know, the Bible says you can have a seared conscience where things that are wrong don't affect you anymore, or sometimes you can have like a hyper conscience where you think everything is bad and you don't want to do anything, but just how to like calibrate that and how to discuss that and handle that with other people. So that's been really good. And then for fiction, I did finish Girl Behind the Red Rope by Ted Decker and I believe his daughter, Rochelle Decker. I already returned that to the library, but that was a pretty interesting book. I will give it 3.5 stars. It wasn't my absolute favorite. I think it could have been developed a little bit more fully, like at the end. It was just kind of like, okay, that's it. But I mean, I liked the premise of the story. It was pretty good. So 3.5 stars. And then also I was supposed to finish the Pinderwicks this month, but again, that was one of those that accidentally got turned back into the library. That wasn't supposed to. So we'll wait for that to get out of quarantine and maybe finish it. And that is all I read for the month of October, but I do have a podcast recommendation. This month I would like to recommend Nancy Wilson's Femina, and it is just short little like 10 to 15 minute episodes where she just tackles a topic related to womanhood, motherhood, those type of things, and it is just a really good like little pep talk for the day. They're not daily, but every time I listen, I come away feeling encouraged and challenged, and they're just really good and biblically sound. So share with me down below what you are reading, and I love getting ideas from you guys as always. And thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.